Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you here with us today, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to join us this evening for our business opportunity meeting. Tonight, we are going to be giving you an overview of who we are, what we do, and how we do it, and why we do it, and yes, how we get paid. And before we get started, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Donna Jones, and I've been with CEO Life for a little over a year now. I am also a licensed realtor with a passion for helping families transition through the different chapters of their lives, guiding them through home ownership and helping them build legacies that last for a long time. I am a proud mother of three amazing daughters and Dee Dee to my beautiful granddaughter. They are my why. They are the reason why I believe so strongly in what we do. I believe that no family should have to lose their home, their stability, or their dreams because something unexpected happens. Protection and legacy aren't just concepts to me, they are personal. In addition to that, I also bring over 25 years of experience of management helping run our family's trucking company and excavation business. I understand that hard work and commitment and what it takes to build something that lasts. But enough about me. Let me introduce our guest speaker, Rahim. Rahim L. is from Pittsburgh, PA, and he's licensed for over 20 years. He owns and operated a landscaping company before 9 years before being introduced to the financial industry. He has earned over six figures since and continues to win in the industry. Since joining forces with CEO Life and Experior, he continues to focus on building a large book of business and helping other agents in the business achieve their definition of success. So welcome, Rahim.
All right, good. All right, good evening. Good evening. I am unmuted. Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right. Let me get here, share my screen with you all. And as I'm doing this, I would like to first thank you, Donna, for your introduction. I really appreciate that. And I want to acknowledge the guest in the room. And if you're like me, unless you were interviewed on it by Indeed or something along those lines, some of us you might have joined like I did this evening. Once upon a time, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I just need you to show up." And if you're like I was thinking back in that day, um, I just want to let you know that there is no cost of joining here. This is not an MLM or anything like that. So this is not that type of a deal. You're not going to have to warehouse soap and lotions in your garage and different things like that. This is not that type of deal. If you partner up with us, it's simply that. And so again, welcome to you all. Who we are, I'm going to start right here on the slide. Everybody's able to see my screen. Okay, correct? Okay, great. Um, Experior is who we are. They were started in Canada. They're now in the United States. They've been in the United States for several years. And in order for them to do that, of course, was not an easy deal. The reputation that you have to jump from one company in country into another. I'm sure you can imagine just from how hard it might be to get a passport, let alone to open up or to expand a whole business. But they have they're headquartered in Canada. They have a headquarters in the United States, which is located in New York. All right. One of the benefits of being partnered up with Experior is the choices that you have as an agent. If you are like myself, I come from a background in insurance where I was only able to offer one type of insurance. So with that, I was extremely limited. Just yesterday, I talked to somebody who's partnering up with us now. She's with an insurance company. I won't say the name. Let's just say farm is a part of the name. And she's very limited to if somebody calls and wants a policy basically that she cannot offer. And one of the things that was attractive to her was attracted to myself. And I'm sure from looking at this thing, you could recognize a lot of the things that a lot of the different companies that we do represent. And this isn't all of them, but we can offer things such as final expense policies, 401ks, the rollovers, term insurance for people who want to maybe protect a mortgage or whatever the case may be. Also, permanent life insurance. We offer health plans, wills and trusts, a lot more as you see over on the left. On the right, excuse me, those are just a few of the companies that we represent. Any of you who have friends or family, loved ones in law enforcement, like I do myself, you'll probably notice companies like NLG, there's Mutual of Omaha, Nationwide, again, just to name a few. And these are just some of the companies that not only we offer, but that you'll be able to offer to your clients. In the chat, I want you to do me a favor. I want to get a little bit of participation. In the chat, who can tell me the name of the first president of the United States? First person in the United States, George Washington. Look how fast that answer came. In the chat, no experienced agents, only the guests. Who can tell me what the rule of 72 is? Notice that answer's coming a lot slower. Last I checked, I never got a check for understanding who George Washington was. But understanding what the rule of 72 is something that I wish I would have learned instead of who George Washington was. The rule of 72 is a formula that we teach our clients, that we teach our agents, that I think that everybody should know. This sheet right here is basically showing you three things that you should know about money. Most of us, we were just left out of this class, is the way I like to put it. And a lot of that is strategic. All right. So we're helping change this in people's lives, agent by agent, client by client. The rule of 72 is a formula that you can use to learn how money compounds, either for you or against you. Right. And it's a very simple formula. You take the interest rate that you're receiving on any investment, as far as seeing how money works for you, and you divide that percentage by 72. You can see in this example that if you're receiving 1%, you would take that 1%, divide it by 72, and it'll take you 72 years. Yes, 72 years for the dollar that you just put into your savings account to turn to $2. And you can see, I'll just slide all the way up to 10%. So you take that 10 divided by 72. Now, every 7.2 years, you'll have that money doubling inside of that savings account. So again, this is just something that we teach, and it applies to the different policies that we're able to help people with. This third or the second thing on this page shows you how money grows. Money grows three ways. One of the ways that it grows is fixed. And we see this on like our checking accounts or savings accounts might be fixed at a 3% interest rate or 5% interest rate. And fixed basically means it just stays there. Then you have the one in the middle that is variable. We hear this a lot with things like cryptocurrency, for example, that can be all over the place, right? It varies. It goes up and you celebrate. It goes down and you need to get peeled off of the floor because when it goes down, you could lose all of your money. Then the third is index, which is where you only have the ups, you don't have any dips, if you notice that. So if I have an investment that's giving me 5% today and it drops tomorrow, my money's still hovering at that 5%. And then when it starts to go back up over 5, I'll start to see those gains. That's what's called index growth. And then the last thing that we teach is how money gets taxed. You have taxable, which is basically taxed annually. You have tax deferred. With tax deferred, you're not taxed until you withdraw the money. Okay. And then tax advantage, which is the one that I love. And a lot of our politicians do too, if you pay any attention to the news. And that's where you avoid taxes. Okay. And again, these are some of the things that we teach not only to agents, but also to the clients that we help. All right. Expert financial analysis. What that is something that back in, I would say about 15, 20 years ago, I sat down with a financial advisor. I was, again, as she mentioned, I was in my landscaping business. Things were kind of going in the right direction. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right things by my money. So I consulted with a financial expert. He sat down with me, went over my finances, took him about 15 minutes, and I had to pay $500 for that consult. That was just for the consult. We do that for free. You as a guest, you will be able to get one, just the person who invited you to the call. Just make sure you get with them, shake them, text them, call them, say, hey, I need to do that expert financial analysis. And again, that's complimentary. There is no charge for that for you or for the clients that we represent. And what we do is we take a look at a few things. One, as you see here, your cash flow. We also want to make sure that you're properly protected. I want you to put in the chat real quick. When you hear a word like life insurance, what's the one thing that comes to mind that most people are looking to protect? The family, their children. What's the one thing that they're trying to cover? I guess is what I should have said. Legacy, funeral. There we go. It's the funeral. Most people, when they hear insurance, they just think about the funeral, right? But we want to make sure that you're properly protected, not just for the funeral and your final expenses, but also against loss of income. What happens if you have a heart attack? What happens if you have a stroke? And your ability to do the same type of work that you're doing right now. And again, those are some of the things that we help people get protection from or for. We want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. Some of us say, what's that, right? You should have 3 to 6 months of your expenses set up as a nest egg, not for the vacation, not for the car, but for emergencies. And 3 to 6 is just a starting point. We also help people with debt management. And I'll get to that on another slide and elaborate a little bit more. But we also help people not only to build wealth, but also to preserve it. Okay. And I think we all agree that these things are extremely important. This one here is kind of some bad news for me. It's something that rubs me the wrong way every time I hear it, every time I see it. But these are statistics that you could look up. They've been around for a long time. 69% of adults have less than $1,000 in their savings. I spoke to a gentleman today and I asked him, I helped him with some coverage this morning. And I asked him, I said, I don't want to know how much you save, but what is your method of saving? And his answer, I'm going to share it. His answer to me was, and I was floored when he said it, but his answer to me was every time he gets paid, he puts $50 into his savings account for gas for next week. Some of us can relate because we've been there, we've done that. We have one, how many can relate? If you get paid 4 times a month, you get the one check and you're like, okay, I could do my car note and half of my insurance. And then that next check comes, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the rent, half of my mortgage, or whatever the case may be. And we go through the month, and then at the end of the month, there's more month left over than money. This slide here is really it rings home on that. So one of the things that we help out with is or I'm sorry, the problem with this statistic is so many people are in debt. I'm thinking of the slide that's coming up. The main source of debt for people is credit debt. Okay. And as far as retirement, 59% of people say that they will have to keep working longer, while 36 people that believe that they'll never have enough money to retire. And if anybody is struggling with the validity of these messages here, when's the last time you've been to Walmart? Who's greeting you? Right? Even at McDonald's, the person at the window, a lot of times it just blows me away. And again, it's because people haven't been properly informed, they haven't been properly educated, and they're not properly prepared. And as far as insurance, 44% of households, if they lost the main income winner, would be devastated. Think about in your household, if you should pass prematurely, what would it look like tomorrow for your family? And as far as investing, the good news is that by statistics that key points annuity sales hit 310 billion in 2022, and that's growing for people that are investing. So things are turning around, and fortunately, I could say that we're helping with that. All right. There is a huge wealth transfer. This one is another one that gives me hope, especially for the industry that we're in. Um, in the retail industry, there's going to be $24 trillion transferred in wealth. In the real estate industry, there's going to be $32 trillion transferred. And the industry that we're a part of, that you're witnessing this evening, that you're getting a bird's eye view, is the financial market. And in that market, there's going to be $109 trillion transferred over. And that's because of the baby boomer population. Okay. There's 78 million baby boomers that retire. And over 10,000 of those baby boomers, they turn 65 every day. So there's a whole new group of baby boomers who are coming in every day who need our services. If somebody can help me out with that. All right, thank you. And there are 112 million generation. Can we get that? Thank you. There's 112 million Generation X millennials, which is 41% of the population who needs our help. That's a huge number, a huge number. And that creates what's called the perfect storm, right? And when I looked up the perfect storm. We've heard it. There's a movie out called The Perfect Storm, but I looked at just to get a little bit of a definition on the perfect storm. And it's a situation where multiple negative factors or events happen at the same time. And it combines in a way that makes outcomes much worse than any one factor alone. So an example would be a tsunami that's happening at the same time as an earthquake, right? Just as an example. This is how perfect storm is defined if you're not an entrepreneur, right? As an entrepreneur, perfect storm is when you're in the middle of a desert and there's a ton of people there and you're the only one with water. I think we all agree that's a perfect storm. So the perfect storm has been created from the baby boomers. I love this slide because it shows, first of all, that there were 78 million people born after World War II. 78 million people. So that created trends in the marketplace. Perfect storm, right? So with that 78 billion people, there's a need, several that are created. And there's industries that birth out of that need. One, you think there's 78 billion people who are babies. So as those babies start getting older, what do those babies need? There's a ton of things, correct? There's toys. So you see uh, companies like Mattel, Hasbro, some of those old companies. Obviously now PlayStation, right? But that wasn't back in that day. And a fun fact is my son, he's a college athlete. The kicker on his football team, if many of us know the game, what is it with the doctor? Operation. My son's kicker on his football team, grandfather sold the pat. He invented that game and he sold the patent for $500. Talking about missing the bus. Talk about missing the bus. But anyway, that's just a fun fact. So back to the lecture at hand. The food industry. So now these kids are growing up. Mom's working, dad's working. Who's going to feed these kids? In comes Ronald McDonald. In comes Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And these industries blew up. You can't go to any neighborhood across the country and even globally in some cases without running into a McDonald's, a Kentucky Fried Chicken, et cetera, et cetera. And it's again because of that perfect storm. Then there's the car industry that exploded because of the need for those families to have vehicles. General Motors, Ford, Chrysler shot through the roof. These companies are all Fortune 100 companies because of that boom. Then housing these families. So that creates a boom for the real estate market. What's going on today with these baby boomers. If you look on the bottom right, 112 million are born between 65 and 94. And at this point, they are retiring. They're leaving their employer, and the insurances that they had while they were working there are going away. They need us. While they're learning these things, they're telling them to their kids, hey, you all need to get insurance. So what's happening to me doesn't happen to you. And people are becoming smarter. You have the internet sharing this information that people are seeing all day and every day. So again, it just creates the perfect storm. Right place, right time. As agents, one of the things that's amazing is that you have the opportunity to have five streams of income. Um, the wealthy people that I know, the wealthy people that you know will tell you, in order to maintain that wealth, in order to get that wealth, you can't just rely on your job. And I don't have to give you the acronym to job. We've been hearing it all of our lives. But just in case, it's JOB, right? Just over broke. So if you have multiple streams of income, the more you have coming in, the more you can rise above that JOB, correct? And so as agents, we have the opportunity to have five streams of income. Personal income, you as the producer, you going out and helping people day to day, week to week, month to month, whatever the case may be. Every time you help a person or family, you get paid for that. After a while, or maybe even right away for some of us, you may have skills or develop skills to be a leader and want to go into a leadership position. You could become an agency owner, where now you are not only doing your own deal and helping people, but now you're extending your opportunity for other people to do the same thing, and you're training and developing them. That expansion can be in your neighborhood, so to speak, or you can expand it across the nation, whole United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And as you begin doing this and scaling it, there's bonuses that become available to you as well as another stream of income. And the last one I mentioned to you that was the one that attracted me to this business was the residual income. By show of hands, how many people don't like P. Diddy anymore? Just put a hand up in the chat if you don't like P. Diddy anymore. That hand flew up so fast. Look at y'all's faces. Well, whether we love him, whether we hate him, every time they play one of his songs, guess not on the radio, but every time one of his videos are streamed, every one of his uh, things are downloaded, guess what he gets? Paid. That's residual income. Hate him or love him. So we as agents can put ourselves in that same position. Don't use baby oil, but just put yourself in the same position, build a huge book of business, and now you could participate in that residual income, right? And so what this kind of looks like is just an agent. I want to give an example, or one example is given for you. So what this is showing, as an agent, you start off as a financial associate. That's the bottom, right? Got to start somewhere. You start off as a financial associate, field associate, and you start on a 70% contract, right? So this example is showing what would happen to you income wise with a $250 policy that you help somebody with or a family with, $250 worth of coverage. How you do that breakdown is you take the 250 that your client will be paying monthly and you multiply that by the 12 months of the year. That client will be paying $3,000 for the year for the coverage that you just helped them with. You multiply that 3,000 times your contract of 70, and your take home on that is $1,800. Let me just say one thing, if for those who might not be familiar, to help that client might take you 15 minutes. Let's just say it took you an hour. Is there anybody that would be happy making $1,890 in 1 hour? I see Sarah. I see Nicole. Awesome. We got some intelligent people in the room, coach. Once you help several people, and it's not a lot, it's about somewhere between 4, 10, something like that people, you get promoted. You get promoted to what's called a senior financial associate. That promotion, has anybody ever got a raise? Yes or yes? Has that raise ever been, something that where you look at it and it's like, are you serious? So basically, it's like you're getting the same pay, just with the taxes maybe not taken out of it. I've been there. Here, you're going to get a raise. It's a 15% raise. So you're going to go from 70% to 85%. Same exact client, same exact policy, but your take home is now 22.95. Then you get bumped up to senior manager, you're at 100%. Same client, same policy, $2,700. I don't have to finish. You get bumped up to an executive director, and that's you're now at 115% contract. I'll go ahead and say it. You see it. $3,100 is your take home. Same 15 minutes, possibly an hour. You help, just think on any level, if you help a person a day, one person a day, one person a week, what that would do for your household, working from home, whether it's a part-time or a full-time basis. With that, I'll stop right there. I'm going to hand it over to this handsome gentleman right here. And you
I
want me to
got
bring
you,
him?
Rahim. This is
Yeah.
Michelle. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm good, Michelle. Thank you. How are you?
All right, let's give it up. Let's give it up for Mr. Rahim L in the building. Oh my gosh, let's put some hearts and chats and emojis. And also for Miss Donna Jones for that opener. It was such a great presentation. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Miss Donna. Thank you, Mr. Rahim. Man, that was awesome. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Oh, I love it. So coming to the stage, but before we bring who this next awesome presenter is, I just want to say who I am. I am Michelle Williams. I'm originally out of Florida, and I'm currently residing in the state of Georgia. So I'm right like 20 minutes outside of Atlanta, Lithonia, Georgia, to be exact. I've been in this business as a whole license for 3 years now, and I've been with CEO Life, Xperia Financial Group, since May of last year. But when I tell you, my background is in criminal justice. So I've been in the prison system for over 20 years. I have a background in wholesaling, which I purchased land and homes, and I'm the middle person, right? But in this business right here, you don't have to be the last, you don't have to be the second, the third. You can be number one. Anybody ever thought about being number one? Raise your hand, put some chats in the air if you ever thought about being number one, starting your own business. When I tell you, just that thought process should give you goosebumps. It should put chills on your back and on your arms. Woo, I'm just truly excited. So coming out of the government sector and walking away from that, and my mindset says, hey, let's kick in a gear. Don't be afraid, get mad. Anybody ever got mad? I get mad every day that I wake up. It's called MAD, make a decision. So if you're on this Zoom right now, you made the first step. You made a decision to come to see and look into the future. Have you ever just reached out and saw this beautiful mural and see, can you put your hand through the wall? That's kind of what this is. Oh my gosh, like seriously. Starting with CEO Life, I've learned so much from May of last year until now. To me, it's more than gaining a PhD. In finance, I didn't even go to school for finance. And my student loans, I probably should be a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon at this point, right? However, in this business, if you work hard enough, you coachable, you're moving forward, you're staying close to the pack, the wolf pack at that, you too can probably make just as much as any doctor. Don't doubt yourself. Give yourself a chance, right? And we have people coming into this business every day. It doesn't matter about their age. It doesn't matter about their background, what career they came from. We got engineers, we got lawyers, we got school teachers, we got nurses on this same platform tonight. We got people in hospitality on this same platform tonight. And we all made a decision to move forward with our own personal dreams and aspirations and wanting to leave a legacy for our families, right? So without further ado, I just want to say that, I mean, this is an amazing time to get in. When is the best time to plant a tree? Does anybody know? If you didn't plant a tree 10 years ago, the best time to plant a tree is now. Don't do it tomorrow. It might not even rain. But if you do it today, the opportunity for that seed to fertilize and already have a day ahead of the next person is now, right? So I want to bring to the stage the man of the hour. Let's give it up for our Mr. Dennis Garland. He is known as a PK kid out of Maryland, a native. He is a winning musician, producer, singer, songwriter, and he's been licensed in this industry since 2018, right? Full-time creative for over 12 years. He's a devoted husband of 13 years. Oh my gosh, like my kid's just 13, so woo. And a proud father of three. Three. So can you imagine he has three little insurance brokers running around in the house right now? That's amazing. And with this company, you also had an opportunity to win trips. Mr. Dennis has won a trip to Baja Mar and also Universal Studios and multiple other states of recognitions under his belt. So let's give it up. He's been a part of CEO Life. He loves to sing. When I tell you he sings through this financial industry like a breeze. He loves rescuing. He loves, when I say loves, he loves rescuing agents that need the help and want to come home. Come home. Let's get rescued. If you haven't already done your AOA, let's get rescued tonight. So whoever brought you in, make sure you reach back and you talk to them. Stay on. Don't hang up. Don't go to bed. Don't go get your dinner. Go get the plate and come back. But let's give it up for Dennis Garland.
Michelle,
All right, let's end this. Let's go.
let's go. Let's go. Hey, look, man, can y'all clap it up for Donna, who started this off, and Rahim and Michelle? Come on, can y'all clap it up? Let's get some fire emojis going, y'all. We're talking about money. If you're excited about money, let me see the money bags, money bags, money bags, money bags. Put the money bags in the chat. As y'all see, my name is Dennis Garland Jr. Please don't forget the Junior. Again, I'm just so super excited about this opportunity, about this industry, because guys, you are having the right conversation at the right time in the right industry, right? And this industry, when I tell you, you lock in, just as Rahim, eloquently explained earlier, it can change your life. You saw just from the income he shared, how just helping a family can just change the trajectory of your whole entire household, right? Now, what I need y'all to do for me is I need y'all to write in the chat legacy. How many people want to leave a legacy, right? Come on. Write in the chat, raise your hand, give me some heart emojis, give me some hand emojis, give me some 100s. If you really want to build a legacy, right? Now, here at Xperia, right, you're able to build a legacy right now. You're able to own your book of business from day one, okay? I was with a company before. When I left said company, I received a letter that said that I could not recruit or do business with any of my clients and or former teammates within a 50-mile radius. That's not ownership of my book of business. That's not ownership of my agency. But here at Xperia, we are giving you full control of your book of business, everybody who you do clients with, the team that does clients up underneath you, and your own agency, right? So you can actually pass that agency down to your family or to your loved ones or to a spouse or to whomever you decided to pass that down to. Not only that, you have opportunities to own a piece of Xperia through shares, okay? And a strategic equity sale that we have, right? When I tell you that the opportunity here is so robust, I mean, it is amazing. I can't even adequately even put in words everything that we have going on here in Xperia, but as you see, you're 100% able to build a true legacy that can outlive you. Now, why should you build an agency, right? Why should you build a business, right? If you're familiar with the cash flow quadrant, right, which pretty much explains the 4 ways to be able to make money. You have an employee, you have a self-employed, you have a business owner, and you have an investor. An employee trades time for money. Here's my 40 hours to the employee, and they're going to give them money for their 40 hours. A self-employed person like a doctor, dentist, lawyer, hairstylist, barber, right? They're tied to their client. So if they get sick, guess what? They don't make any money. But on the other side of the cash flow quadrant, you have a business owner. And see, a business owner owns a system. And I want y'all to write this down. System stands for saving yourself significant time, energy, and money. That's a system, ladies and gentlemen. And so a business owner trades their money for other people's time. The best part about this business is that you don't have to come out of your pockets to pay the people that are on your team. That's one of the best parts about it, because Xperia is going to pay them for their performance. So as you're looking at the screen, right, you're probably wondering, what does ED stands for? ED stands for Executive Director, right? That's a beautiful title right there. Executive Director. Come on, somebody type that in the chat. I'm an executive director. Come on, we're going to go ahead and speak it now, right? For all the people that's in the chat, I'm an executive director. So as an executive director, you have a team, right? So what you see around the executive director with the arrows is the executive director's team, right? SFA just stands for Senior Financial Associate. So the Senior Financial Associate is at an 85% contract, right? And you see the executive director is at 115% contract, right? So whenever any of the senior financial associates make money, the executive director is going to override that effort, because the executive director is the one that brought the SFA into the business, right? And so Xperia is going to pay the executive director an override income. Come on, somebody write that in the chat. Override income. Override income. Okay? Now, with the agency override income, right? Let's say the SFAs, or the senior financial associates, right? They do $25,000 in annual premium. This is the production from the team, right? Times 30%, because the executive director is getting a 30% override, right? 115 subtracted by 85 is a 30% override. They're going to make $7,500 from all the SFAs during production. Now, mind you, the SFAs, they're getting paid, right? So Xperia is not going to dip into the SFAs money or their check to pay the ED. They're just going to pay the ED, say, hey, thank you for bringing them in and helping growing our business and our franchise. We're going to help you grow your business and your franchise. Isn't that beautiful? Now, personally, you did 2,500 yourself, right? Because you already know how to do the business. And so at 115% contract, you're going to make $28,750. Okay? So the total cash flow for that month between your team and yourself is $36,250 in a month. I'm going to say that one more time because I don't think y'all heard me. That is $36,250 a month, which equals $435,000 a year. And this is not even including bonuses, right? As Rahim talked about earlier. See, you get bonuses, which is extra money on top of the production. So this is an amazing opportunity that we have. Again, even if you got sick, but your team is still working, you're still able to receive an override income. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you want to build a business, because this is the only way that you're going to be able to buy back your time is by actually building a business. Okay? Now, why help others grow? It's very simple, right? So now you become a senior executive director, and you have now helped those senior financial associates now become an ED. So now they are executive directors. So now you have a team of franchise owners, right? And so now your agency override income. I mean, look at this now. The executive directors did 40,000 in annual premium, and you got a 14% override on that, and you made $28,000 just from the executive directors teams. Now, personally, again, you know how to do the business, so you went out and helped some families yourself, and you did 25,000 in annual premium in production as well at 120% contract, and now you made $30,000 outside of your team, $30,000 on your own pen. Your total cash flow this month was $58,000. 58,000 times 12 is $696,000 in a year. Plus bonuses, you now have made $816,000 a year. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't get excited about uncapped income, I don't know what to tell you. But what I do need is I need some money bags in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. We talking about big money and big businesses. You have the ability to build a company within a company and help others to build a company within your company. And then you're able to override other companies. This is an amazing opportunity that you just don't get just anywhere, right? You certainly won't get it on the job. And so now let's talk about the shares, right? So like I said before, you own your book of business, you have ownership of your agency, and now you're able to have ownership in Experior through shares, all right? And so as you can see here on the screen, right, each milestone that you hit in income, right, at $100,000, you get a ring. At $250,000, you get another ring. At $500,000, you get another ring. At $750,000, you get another ring. At $1 million, you get another rings, right? We talking about ring, 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 ring. The rings just don't stop. So every time you move up an income level, Experior is going to give you more shares. So we're talking about continuous shares as you continue to grow your business, grow your income, right, and grow your expansion, as Rahim mentioned, right? You can expand in all of Canada, all 50 states of the United States, and even in Puerto Rico. This opportunity, again, you do not get this anywhere. And guess what? In the next few years, we're looking to be IPO ready, right? We're talking about going on to the New York Stock Exchange so the world can be able to invest into Experior. Like I said before, you're having the right conversation at the right time in the right industry. And not only that, when you hit $1 million, look at that gold right there. Just look at that. You get a gold ring with nothing but diamonds all around, right? At $1 million cash flow, you're going to get a ring. And then when you hit $2 million in cash flow, you're going to get another ring. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, oh my God. So people are making this kind of money in this industry. Look, ask Google, ask Gemini, ask Siri, ask Bixby, ask Jeeves, if you're old enough to remember that. The financial industry creates the most millionaires out of any other industry. And what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to reward you every single step of the way. At a job, most of the time you get recognition is when you're late. Most of the time you get recognition is when you're messing up, right? You don't usually get the recognition for when you're doing things that are not seen, for when you're helping with the processes, right? But here, we're going to make sure that you are highly rewarded and highly decorated, not only just through income, not only just through rings, but also shares and ownership in Xperia. Also, you can win contests. Right now, as y'all saw in my mini bio there, I had the ability to be able to take my family on a couple of trips. The first trip we went on, again, it was at Baha Mar a few years ago when Baha Mar was the newest resort to open up in the Bahamas, right? Usually it was the Atlantis, but then the Baha Mar opened. And when I tell you, the company lays out everything, I mean, no expenditures, right? I'm talking about, flight was taken care of. We're talking about a 5-star hotel, right? We talking about all the amenities, right? Everything's. I mean, they even have flamingos walking around. Look, I got close to the flamingos. I didn't even know what a koi fish was until I got to the Bahamas, and that's all because of me working hard for my family, me putting the time in, building a business. The company rewarded me with those trips. And as you see right down here, you can win trips to Cancun, you can win trips to Maui, you can win trips to Puerto Rico, and you can win trips to the Bahamas, right? There's nothing holding you. Look, hey, you might say, well, right now, Dennis, I don't have enough money to really go on a lot of these. Hey, who said you needed money? All you need to do is put the time into your business. The company will reward you. And you can bring your loved one, your spouse, your boo thing, your bae, your children, right? When I took my children to Universal Studios, right, all I did, I just paid for their plane ticket. That's it. My little knee baby was, only 2 years old, so I ain't had to pay for that. I'm just saying, because they wasn't 3. But what I'm saying is, the company took care of me and my wife. All I had to do was pay a little plane ticket for my children, and boom, we was off celebrating for free, all on the company's dime. I'm telling you, if you work hard, the company will reward you for your hard work, right? Now, why Xperia, right? Some of you all are here today and you said, I loved what I heard earlier, but I'm here for a deeper understanding, a deeper look into what Xperia is. Okay, so let's take a look. No fee to start. Some companies are actually for $200 to start. Some MLMs are actually for $1,000 to start. If you look into getting your CDLs, that's anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000 to start. If you're doing hair, cosmetology, you want to go to school, that's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to do that, right? If you're talking about a brick and mortar business, that's usually about $10,000 to maybe even $20,000 to go ahead and do that. But Xperia says we're going to give you the chance to start at no cost. We're also going to provide you with the technology to be able to house your book of business, right? So CRM is just a short term for client relations manager. And we have all the technology to be able to help you with that, right? Not only that, no license to override. So what does that mean, Dennis? I'm glad you asked. So no license to override. So what does this mean is I'm currently in the DMV, right, in Maryland. And let's say I have a teammate who's in California. They have their license, they're doing business. I do not need to purchase a license in California in order to override my franchise. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, my franchise, my other franchise in California. Now, obviously, it's their franchise too, but I'm helping them. I brought them in. We're doing this together. So I don't have to buy all the licenses in all 50 states in order to be able to override the income or the production of my team. So that's a beautiful thing as well, right? ITN friendly, right? So, hey, so if you don't have a social security number, no problem. If you have an ITN number, guess what? You can do business, big business with us, all right? So you can come in and get started with us. Hey, when we're talking about no cap on territory, all 50 states in the U.S., all of Canada, all the provinces in Canada, and we're talking about Puerto Rico. So you have a whole landscape to be able to get that done, right? Shares in Xperia, right? So shares mean you own, right? If you bought one share in Apple, guess what? You own a piece of Apple. But the beautiful part about Xperia is you don't have to buy the share here. You put in some work, help your family, and guess what? They're going to reward you with ownership. English and Spanish training. Now, see, I don't know no Spanish, okay? But now, if you know Spanish, guess what? You can expand your team, right? You can expand your team. You can recruit someone who knows Spanish, who can be able to train those Spanish agents, right? And again, we have the technology to be able to help those who speak English and those who speak Spanish, right? Own your book of business day one. I cannot tell you how important that is to be able to own your book of business. If you're working at some of these other companies that you are captive, notice captive, you will not be able to own that book of business. But here, you own it day one. No recruiting to move up. This is why I love this, guys. And this is why I love this. See, I'm a recruiter because one thing I understand is that there's only but so many hours that I absolutely can work. But if I recruit a team and build a team, guess what? I now also can leverage their hours. So if I have 10 people doing 40 hours a week, that's 400 hours, right? It's 400 hours. 400 hours that I'm able to leverage through those 10 teammates. If I get sick, and I remember when I had COVID, when COVID first started out, right? And I was short of breath. I wasn't able to work. Me and my wife was both down. And guess what? I had teammates who said, "Hey, bro, we got you. We gonna do what we need to do for the team." And here's the thing: it's not about doing it for me. It's about doing it for yourself, right? And that's what I told them. It's not about you do it for yourself. But guess what? By them locking into their why, helped me with my why, right? So no recruiting to move up, but I know there's teammates who's not going to want to recruit. There's people who's going to come in and say, "Hey, Dennis, I just want to run fast by myself. I just want to go ahead and make as much money as I can by myself." That's no problem. Guess what? You can go from 70% to 130% on your own pen. No cap on the income, as I just showed you, right? You can start out with $0 and you can make up to $2 million. There's no job that's going to be able to there's no job that's going to be able to pay you what you are truly worth. They're only going to give you what the position is offering. And here, experience says, we believe you're worth more. Do what you need to do, and we're going to uncap that income, right? You can sell your agency. Think about that. Usually people sell their business from anywhere from 5 to 10 times what it's worth. So imagine that. If you're bringing in $1 million, somebody can buy your business for $10 million. Because why? Because they know 10 years later, they're going to make $10 million. I paid for it. The business is going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And guess what? You can sell that business and walk away into the sunset with the money. And most importantly, guys, we have a system. Okay? I've been in a couple of IMOs, and the issue is that people do not have a system to be successful. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just need to move it. We got everything for you. So, where do you see yourself starting with us, right? Some may say, "Hey, look, you know what, Dennis? Honestly, man, I think this was a phenomenal presentation. I'm actually good with where I am. I'm making some great money. Family's good. Career's good. But I would love to position my family better financially. I love some of the concepts that Rahim talked about, and I want to be able to do the same things with your family." Guess what? We're going to be able to help you. And then maybe there's another second person that says, "You know what? I would like to make some extra money just by referring people." And what we call that is a referring agent, right? So we do the work, and you share the 50% of the revenue. So what does that mean? That means that you can still get licensed, right? And you might say, "Hey, well, I can get licensed, but I might not, want to meet with the client stuff." We got you. Get your license, right? Refer those people to us, and we're going to be able to split those deals 50%. Okay. And then you have the third and fourth options, right? You say, "Well, Dennis, honestly, I'm ready to go all in, right? I got my agreement in the email, and I'm ready to lock in with you all. But I have a job. No worries. You can build this business part-time until it becomes full-time, right? You can build this business, working like a part-time job until it pays you like a full-time business. Okay? Get your license. Go through the training program, right? Make your own schedule. Become your own boss, right? Take control of your own paycheck, right? Enjoy the tax benefits of being self-employed because you can literally write off your lifestyle." And then another person says, "You know what? I'm ready to just go all in. I can do full-time, right? I want to do something great. I want to change the what's going on around me. I want to be able to change the forecast whenever I feel like it, right? I want to be able to walk into the store and not have to blink at what I'm looking at buying. I want to take on the full-time opportunity, and I want to learn your system. I want to be a part of the academy. I want to be a part of what you all have going on here, because I truly believe that this can change the financial trajectory of my family. So either way, you can start part-time and or full-time with us, right? And so knowledge is power, but only if it's applied. We were always taught that knowledge is power. Yes, the potential of knowing what you know, right? But what do they say? When you know better, you what? You do better. And the power is in the doing better. So now that you've seen all the information on tonight, how we educate families, how we teach people how money works, how we make income, how you're able to build your own agency and be able to override other agencies that are underneath you, and to be able to have ownership and partnership with Experior. There's no other place like this. And the main thing is the system. We have the coaching, we have personal and leadership development here. And again, you're in the right place at the right time, having the right conversations. All right? So thank you for listening, guys. And I just want to say this. People, they're not successful because they don't have the opportunities. The problem is that they don't take action fast enough on those opportunities, right? Don't miss out, because what we have here is special. And you came here tonight for a special reason, right? You're looking at your bank account, you're looking at what's going on in your life and your family, you want more. And so we're here to be able to help you to do that. So get with the person that brought you here on tonight and let them know that you're ready to get started. And we're going to fast track you, and we're going to help you to be successful. Thank you all for joining our business overview on tonight.